Have you ever felt so invested in a fictional character that they seem almost real to you? I know I have. When I first read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, I found myself having so much in common with Jane, and she felt so real to me, her voice, everything about her. I still sort of mourn the fact that we'll never meet in real life. And I know that quite a few of you have probably asked yourself, when the going gets tough, what would Alex Cloudmill do? Or what would Anne von Blissen do? Or what would Linda Chander do? Or what would Lisa Peterson do? Fictional characters are more than friends. They serve as a sort of beacon of light, and they can teach us how to go through things in life. But what is it that makes certain characters so real and interesting? And how can you apply that on your own characters? Stick around and find out. First of all, get close and personal with your characters. Know their backstory, know what makes them tick, know what makes them laugh, know what they dream about at night. When I first started writing the Soul Riders books, I would make these incredibly detailed lists about everything from hair color and sort of basic stuff to really deep stuff like their hopes and dreams and what they told no one and their biggest fears and favorite music, favorite food, just everything really. Now, I didn't use all that information in the finished books, and that's not the point, because the point is that you need to be ahead of your characters. You need to know everything about them. You need to know what they will feel and think at any given moment. And you never know when those details might come in handy in your writing. So just start exploring your characters. Write lists, write scenes that you might never use. Just write about them and think about them. Maybe even draw them, if that's your thing. The trick that I always use is to write about what you know. Don't be afraid to dig deep and get real personal about yourself. While the 4 Soul Riders are very different people individually, I can honestly say that I identify so much with different parts of all 4 of them. For example, like Lisa, I sometimes suffer from panic attacks. And like Linda, I know what it's like to prefer books and made-up stuff to the real world. And like Anne, I know what it's like to never feel good enough, no matter how hard you work. Alex is vulnerable on the inside, like me, but she has a very tough exterior. So I sometimes think of her as my goals person. You know, what would Alex Cloudmill do? So keep it personal, but let your imagination fly too. I like to say that 50% of my writing is completely made up stuff, and 50% is quite autobiographical. I know that some writers like to say that they never write about their own life and feelings. To that I say, are you sure? Don't make it too perfect, because here's the deal. Humans are messy. Humans are inconsistent. Humans make mistakes. Of course, we want our protagonist to be likable, but not perfect. Aim for relatable and human. Yes, Linda is smart, but she's also a bit of a know-it-all. Alex is a total badass, but she also builds this wall to avoid dealing with certain emotions. Lisa is a true artist and healer, but much like myself, she will go through like 10 or 15 different emotions during the scope of one afternoon. And while Anne might seem like she has everything going for her, deep down she's really insecure and she never knows if she's good enough. The Soul Riders may be heroes, but they're also 100% human. And if you think about writing fiction as a way of extending real life and making it sparkle and bounce, you're on the right track.